But part of that is starting off with Snoop Dogg and Nelly and Soulja Boy and others for their decisions to perform at events surrounding the inauguration.
The entertainment scene got turned upside down when DL Hughley stepped out and lit a match right under one of hip-hop's most respected names, Snoop Dogg. It wasn't a soft comment, and it wasn't some random throwaway jab. DL came forward with the kind of claim that makes everybody stop and freeze, because he suggested Snoop might have had help from the system during moments that were supposed to break him. One accusation and the entire culture reacted like somebody pulled the fire alarm. The internet didn't just talk, it exploded. People ran back to old interviews, courtroom clips, business deals, and every moment that didn't feel fully explained. The idea that a figure like Snoop, who built his whole identity around surviving street pressure and coming out clean, could be tied to law enforcement in any way made the streets jump. Even the word Fed thrown next to somebody's name is enough to shake reputations for life. And DL didn't say it like he was guessing. He said it with that calm tone that makes people wonder if he knows more than he's willing to put in full detail.
It amazes me that to convince black people that Donald Trump cares about them, he takes pictures with celebrities. It's amazing to me. If Donald Trump cared about black people, he wouldn't have denigrated the president with those claims of birth.
What stunned everyone even more was the timing. Hip-hop has always whispered rumors about artists who walk away from heavy situations untouched while others get slammed, but nobody ever says it out loud, especially not about someone considered untouchable. Snoop went from death row madness to a national brand that everybody respects. That kind of transformation looks clean from the outside, but DL insisted it looked too clean. And once that idea landed, people couldn't unhear it. The wave hit social media instantly. Pages lit up, comment sections turned into battlefields. Everyone threw in their theories, their screenshots, and their own versions of the truth. Some people said DL was being bold and calling out something the game ignores. Others said he was stirring things up for attention. No matter the reason, he hit a nerve. Because in hip-hop, credibility is everything. And when someone questions the origin of your freedom, your rise, or your reputation, that's not a regular argument. That's a cultural earthquake. The conversation shifted fast from Snoop to the entire industry. People started pointing fingers not just at one man, but at a whole system where image and reality don't always match. Hip-hop fans love a comeback story, but DL suggested maybe some comebacks weren't built on redemption alone. And the more the internet replayed that accusation, the deeper the story felt. This wasn't gossip about music, it was about legacy. And once that got touched, the drama became unstoppable.
Most important thing is there's got to be a solution. Because this has been going on in the industry for a whole years, for decades. And at the same time, you know, nobody wants this to be true, and it shouldn't have to be true. But if we don't fix it and do something about it, history will constantly
repeat itself. Now, Suge, you said something early on that I want to get clarification for the audience, Suge. You said early on, you can't just look at Diddy in isolation. You said this was done to him. He learned from others, and it was done to him, and then he did to others. To me, that sounds like what I hear when people are talking about situations, you know, hurt people, that someone was used, they wind up being a perpetrator. Is that what you're suggesting about Sean Combs, that he was used and he now uses?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. I think he repeat what was done to him. And like I said, if you look at Russell Simmons, you know the truth. Andre Rail, you know the truth. Clyde Davis, you know the truth. Jimmy Iovine, you know the truth. So there's not certain things that all of a sudden you got this. The industry is a quick business. It's been like that for a long time. And the casting couch is real, but it's for women and men. But far from all that, I think the most important thing is I feel like they should let Puffy tell his truth. I'm quite sure he's going to expose a lot of people. I'm sure he's going to move forward with it. But I don't think it should be a situation like the Epstein thing where they found him hanging from the ceiling or dead.
Once DL Hughley's commentary dropped, a whole storm rolled in. People weren't just reacting, they were investigating. Every old headline, every courtroom detail, every interview where Snoop talked about his past suddenly resurfaced. The biggest moment everyone kept bringing back was that 1993 murder case tied to the death of Philip Wodemariam. That trial was one of the most watched moments in hip-hop history. Back then, the world saw it as a victory when Snoop walked out free, especially during an era when the legal system was notorious for coming down hard on rappers. But with DL stirring the pot decades later, it made people go, hold on, how did he beat a case that big and still rise into global fame without any long-term damage? Even though Snoop always said he was innocent and his legal team fought hard, DL's comment made an old story feel brand new again. And the web ran with it like somebody said the case just happened yesterday. Even more talk sparked when clips surfaced of famous figures hinting that the entertainment world is a place where deals get made behind closed doors, deals that the public never hears about. Industry veterans spoke openly about how the business can be cutthroat for men and women alike, and how power moves often decide who rises and who falls. When DL tied Snoop's success to that idea, it placed him in a larger conversation about how celebrity culture works. Suddenly, it wasn't just about one man, it was about the entire system. Because if one superstar could supposedly walk through storms without a scratch, what did that say about the game itself?
Nah, chill. I'm not performing. I am in Washington, D.C. right now, but I'm not performing. It's a private vibe I'm doing with my brother Snoop Dogg.
1, 2, 3 into the 4. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the dope, ready to make an end.
But I am honored to be performing for the office, for the President of the United States. Regardless, ain't nan another president asked me to perform. Nan.
Nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo is gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the one of you Uncle Tom for doing it. Which one of you?
DL didn't shout, he didn't rant, he spoke calmly, which made everything feel even heavier. He framed it like a man who had seen enough behind-the-scenes chaos to know when something doesn't feel natural. He painted a picture where fame and protection might go hand in hand more than fans want to believe. And whether people agreed or not, his words made everybody think twice. Some fans said Snoop's rise was the result of business strategy, growth, and maturity. The evolution of a man who learned how to move smarter. Others said DL was hinting at a darker reality, where success comes with terms attached. The moment the streets heard the phrase "Fed rat," it took on a life of its own. That label is heavy, one of the harshest accusations someone can throw in hip-hop culture. Even if DL didn't drop solid evidence, the suggestion alone was enough to shake longtime supporters and spark non-stop chatter.
Hey man, you playing to win tonight, man. You sharp as a mosquito. What's going down? That's that crypto, see? They let a real crip up in the crypto ball. Bang, bang.
Overnight, what started as one statement turned into one of the biggest cultural conversations in years, and the wildfire wasn't slowing down. Now, the real twist hit when Snoop Dogg didn't respond at all. No posts, no interviews, no quick denial, just silence. And silence in a controversy like this behaves like gasoline. It makes everything burn hotter. Fans didn't know how to read it. Some said he wasn't responding because the claim was beneath him and he wasn't about to entertain something he felt didn't deserve attention. Others believed the silence meant he was preparing something behind the scenes, maybe legal, maybe public, maybe strategic. And a whole separate group thought he was staying quiet because responding would only give the story more traction. But no matter how people tried to interpret it, the silence became part of the story itself. This set off another conversation about how much the culture has changed over the years. Older fans from the era of street codes and strict loyalty saw DL's accusation as something serious that couldn't be ignored. To them, reputation is everything, and silence leaves room for speculation. Younger fans, though, said the whole idea of street codes doesn't hold the same weight in today's world. They argued that survival is real, strategy is real, and evolving isn't betrayal, it's smart. They pointed out that expecting someone in their 50s to move like they did at 20 doesn't make sense. This turned the scandal into a generational clash, where the definition of realness became the center of the debate. Meanwhile, some insiders whispered that the industry has always operated with a blurry line between fame and influence, law and celebrity, street and corporate. DL's comments didn't just target Snoop. They exposed the idea that many stars may have pulled strings or relied on powerful relationships to stay afloat. Whether that's true or not, it fueled an already heated conversation. People went searching for photos of Snoop standing next to politicians, businessmen, and even police officials. They took screenshots and tried to connect dots that might not even exist. Online perception turned into its own version of reality, and once that happens, it becomes almost impossible to control the storyline. DL kept the same tone throughout, not loud, not angry, just firm. He implied that fame changes how the world sees you, that once someone becomes a massive brand, the pressure to protect that brand becomes greater than anything else. And that's what made his accusation hit so hard. Even without proof, the idea felt believable to people who already think the entertainment industry is built on secrets and backdoor deals. It gave fans something to argue over, something to dig into, something to fight about. And that alone made this situation bigger than anybody expected. As the storm kept building, both sides of the internet refused to back down. Snoop supporters defended him fiercely, saying his whole journey was earned through talent, strategy, and evolution. They said DL was reaching, dragging a respected figure for no solid reason. They argued that everything Snoop became, a businessman, a cultural icon, a TV personality, a global entertainer, came from growth, not secret deals. But DL supporters fired back just as hard. They said the accusation wasn't about insulting Snoop. It was about forcing the culture to face uncomfortable truths. They felt like too many celebrities hide behind polished images while leaving their real stories in the dark. DL's camp claimed that calling out contradictions was necessary, especially in a world where authenticity is becoming rare. The more people debated, the bigger the story grew. It wasn't just DL versus Snoop anymore. It became a public war between two ideas, the old version of hip-hop that values street loyalty and the new version that values brand building. On one hand, people said the culture needed honesty and accountability. On the other hand, people said the culture needed maturity and evolution. The tension between those two ideas reached a breaking point. Every podcast, every radio show, every social media page had something to say. Even celebrities who weren't involved dropped hints about their own experiences with the industry's darker side. Suddenly, the conversation expanded beyond Snoop's name and became a reflection of the entire celebrity world. And the wildest part, every time the story felt like it might cool down, more people stepped into the mix. Some old school voices claimed they always wondered how certain stars managed to rise through chaos untouched while others got wiped out. They didn't name names, but the timing made the message clear, and the audience connected the dots on their own. It created an atmosphere where everyone was questioning everything, and from past cases to industry politics to unexplained career jumps. Nobody trusted anything on the surface anymore. It turned the whole scandal into a giant puzzle. By this point, DL's accusation had taken on a life of its own. Even people who didn't fully believe it couldn't deny how entertaining and messy the situation became. It wasn't just gossip, it was a cultural collision. People weren't arguing about music or fame anymore. They were arguing about integrity, legacy, and what real even means in a world where success is shaped by both talent and strategy. No matter which side someone stood on, the debate kept them locked in like a never-ending movie. By the time the dust started settling, one thing became clear. This wasn't just another celebrity argument. It was a story that cracked open conversations the entertainment industry normally avoids. DL didn't just accuse Snoop of something controversial. He forced millions of people to rethink how fame operates. He made fans question how much they really know about the business side of music, about legal systems behind the scenes, about deals nobody sees, and about how difficult it is for any superstar to grow without changing their lifestyle. He sparked discussions about how someone's past follows them regardless of fame, and how quickly a legacy can be challenged when credibility is brought into question. Snoop's silence added even more mystery. Every day that went by without a response made the culture buzz louder. People started wondering whether Snoop would ever address it or whether he'd let the noise fade over time. Some thought a public reply would add fuel to the fire. Others expected him to shut it down in one strong statement, yet nothing came. And that made the situation feel like an unsolved case, open-ended, unpredictable, and still hot. Even without new information, the debate refused to die. The story grew legs and kept running across platforms everywhere. In the middle of all this, something important happened. The conversation revealed just how divided hip-hop culture has become. The older crowd insisted that real ones never cooperate with authorities no matter the situation. They said the accusation alone was disrespectful to the code. The younger crowd argued that nobody should throw away their entire future over loyalty to street ideals. They said growth is survival. They said evolving doesn't make someone fake, it makes them wise. This generational divide turned the scandal into a long discussion about what loyalty even means in the modern world, and that kept the story alive even longer. DL's statement, "When the truth comes out, legends fall hard," sparked even more theories. Some said he was warning the industry. Others said he was speaking from experience. But no matter what interpretation people chose, that line echoed for days. It carried weight. It sounded like someone who knew the cost of fame, the danger of secrets, and the complications behind celebrity survival. Whether he was right or wrong, he created a moment that became part of hip-hop conversation instantly. And when everything is put together, the accusation, the silence, the backlash, the debates, the generational clash, one thing stands out clearly. This scandal changed how people look at Snoop, not necessarily in a negative way, but in a more complex way. Instead of seeing him as just an icon, people now see him as a figure wrapped in both mystery and admiration. DL didn't confirm anything. He didn't prove anything, but he did what entertainment does best. He started a story nobody wants to stop talking about. And that's why this controversy will stay alive for years, being discussed in barbershops, studios, podcasts, corners, and comment sections everywhere. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives into the wildest stories in the culture, make sure to like and subscribe.